Welcome to the video lecture on reading literacy. Recognizing the importance of reading and learning and getting information in this digital age, this video lecture helps you understand why reading is crucial in learning, and you will learn different effective reading approaches, strategies, and techniques to teach reading. This video lecture is also designed for parents, especially now that we are at home due to the pandemic. And we use this opportunity to teach our children how to read with comprehension. I hope that through this, we could help DepEd in achieving quality in basic education by providing appropriate reading instruction to our students. It is also very timely because one of the components of the 2020 Brigada Eskwela is the Brigada Pagbasa to help all learners read. Before we start, let's have a guessing game. I'll show you pictures of scenes from the 4 famous children's stories. I'll give you 5 seconds to name the title of each story. Are you ready? Let's have the first picture. You're correct. The answer is Pinocchio. Now I'll show you the next picture. Right, the correct answer is Jack and the Beanstalk. We have the third picture. Correct, the answer is Ibong Adarna. And the last picture is... Definitely, that is Alamat ng Agpalaya. Recently, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development (OECD) released the results of the 2018 Program for International Student Assessment. Our Filipino students participated in PISA for the first time ever. Among 79 participating countries or economies, the Philippines ranked last in reading, and we ranked second last in both math and science, beating only Dominican Republic. What can we do to improve the performance of students in reading? Ma'am Ives Arboleda from Makati City will help us explain how teachers can improve reading ability of students.
There is no one approach to reading and language that perfectly works for everybody. But what really counts is the conscious effort of the teacher to know her student population and tailor a reading program to fit in. A result-driven reading teacher would design and employ a consistent, literacy-focused reading program, especially us teachers in the elementary level, whose main focus is to help our students develop a strong reading foundation.
Reading skills and strategies can be taught to our students while they are learning the contents of the different subjects. Struggling students also need explicit teaching of these strategies to become better readers.
Reading helps children build their vocabulary and language skills. This means that exposing the children to different reading materials would contribute to their overall understanding of the language.
It is important to teach reading among our learners because it is a cornerstone in improving educational outcomes. As UNESCO stated before, that reading is a foundation of learning. A child's reading skills are important to the success in their learning process, as this will allow them to access the breadth of the curriculum and improve their communication and language skills such as questioning, listening, and reflective and critical thinking.
Teaching reading for me is like paddling a boat. As teachers, we are the paddlers towards the reading success of our students. That is why it is very important to employ effective and varied reading techniques, approaches, and strategies to instill among learners the love for reading. Developing effective reading programs as well as crafting appropriate pre-reading, during reading, and after reading activities that have lasting effect on learners are equally important, for it boils down to enhancing learners' vocabulary and comprehension skills.
Teaching reading is a timeless form of entertainment and information. It is the spotlight to develop and expand their thoughts, gives endless knowledge and lessons. Reading gives opportunity to learn new things and explore new ideas.
Reading is the active process of understanding print and graphic text. Reading is a thinking process. Effective readers use strategies to understand what they read before, during, and after reading. Before reading, they use prior knowledge to think about the topic. During reading, they monitor understanding by questioning, thinking about, and reflecting on the ideas and information in the text. After reading, they reflect upon the ideas and information in the text. Students can be taught to be strategic and effective readers. Now let's have the different reading strategies. Before reading or pre-reading, let's have the previewing a text. The main purpose of this is to examine the layout and the features of a particular text and how to use it. The before reading response is important to activate prior knowledge, helping readers to make sense of new information and construct meaning from the text. So parents and teachers can ask the students this question. Look at the pictures or the cover pictures, and then the title, the subtitle, the author's name, any artwork or pictures. Let me show an example. Monkey the Turtle, the students can be asked about what is the picture all about. And then for informational text, it also uses visuals, pictures, illustrations, charts, graphs, and captions. For example, in teaching science, we have this food web illustration. You can ask your students first to study the food web before you read the text. Good readers predict before reading the text and while reading the text. Predicting motivates the students to read and helps them arrive at the purpose for reading. Readers use the textual evidence and their own prior knowledge to set up expectations of what will happen or what information the text will contain. The teacher can model the students how to predict by looking and noting the title, the cover, the illustration, and illustrations or graphics within the text. For this Emperor's New Clothes, the students can say that I think the story is about blank because blank. So that is our prompt for predicting. For non-fiction, for example, they are reading about the EDSA people power, then ask the students to predict what they will learn about the text. KWL is an instructional reading strategy that is used to guide students through a text. The students begin by brainstorming everything they know about the topic. This information is recorded in the K column of a KWL chart. The students then generate a list of questions about what they want to know about the topic, and these questions are listed in the W column of the chart. During or after reading, students answer the questions that are in the W column. Now let's have the during reading activities or strategies. We have questioning. According to the National Reading Panel, question answering and question generating give students a purpose for reading and encourage comprehension monitoring. So after reading this paragraph, the teacher now will model questioning by asking the question, I wonder why the monkey got the upper half of the banana. The next during reading activity is using context to find meaning. So we know that reading is a process of finding meaning in a text. In this example, molten rock or magma is formed and explodes up through the cracks and breaks in the plates to the surface of the earth to form volcanoes. The term magma is defined by the other words molten rock. So that's the clue. Visualizing is a crucial skill for students. If they can get the picture, often they've got the concept. So we have here the text. Okay, how can you ask your students to visualize? Or first, model visualizing. You can say, I can see a garden, I can see different colors of vegetable. Now let's have the after reading strategies. We have summarizing. After reading a text, good readers are able to recall important points and details from what we use the SWBST. S stands for somebody. We ask the questions like, who is the main character? For wanted, what does the character want or what is the character's goal? For but, what is the problem in the story? So, what is the solution to the problem, or how does the character reach his or her goal? And for then, how does the story end? Let me give you an example in the story Cinderella. For summarizing the expository text, we use the strategy TAAMIO. T stands for text, A author, A action, M, main idea, I, important details, and O, organization. So this is an example on how we summarize the expository text. At this point, we have our fellow teachers who will share reading strategies they use to teach reading.
First is visible cues.
Visible quiz is a quick survey of learners' mastery of previously learned skills. The learners either individually or collaboratively raise flags or do take-off touchdown activity to agree or disagree to given sets of information. Choice board. Choice board is a set of ideas that learners choose from at the start of a new lesson. The words or ideas are bridged between past and new lesson. Learners pick an idea close to their prior knowledge, thus easing their anxiety before the introduction of the new lesson.
Vocabulary teaching is to be done in explicit instruction, meaning to say, you must define the targeted words based on their level of understanding. In order to do this, you should have your small group ready with a timer to make sure that you won't go over time with this activity. When you presented the targeted words, make sure that there is an explanation that is based on their level of understanding. The kids would have to act out and interpret based on how they understood it. So you would be amazed on how they present.
Inquiry. Here, teachers need to anticipate places in complex texts where students begin to read between the lines. Summarizing. We have to check students' understanding and they have to reflect on short segment of the text. We can give them specific process to follow, such as giving, graphic organizer, or utilizing concept map.
Word ladders are a great way to help you develop your phonics, vocabularies, and spelling skills.
Here is an example of a word ladder and the theme is shrinking sizes. So, directions, read the clues, then write the words, start at the bottom and climb to the top. So, you start at the bottom here, the bottom word is little. You are guided by the guides or your clues on each box. So, for example, to have lighted something, so from little you have to take away 3 letters and that would be
chants with actions are very effective to our learners. A lot of research can alter brain structure in ways can motivate children in reading while using chants with action. In fact, recent research has found that chant with actions, music, and other rhythmical activities can have beneficial effects on creativity on the children.
Also known as DRTA, developed by Russell Stafford. So what is the process? First, I select reading passage and determine several stopping points within it for pupils to make, verify, or modify predictions. Use sticky notes to mark pupils' copies of the text in advance to prevent them from reading too far ahead.
I also ask motivation questions to keep the students' interest. And lastly, at the end of the story, we do an evaluation by asking the students to do a thumb sign. They do this if they understand it. They do this if there are still things that are unclear. And some could also be honest to share that they understand very little with this sign.
After reading the answer selection, I always love the students to read the comprehension questions first because it enables them to think deeply and eventually they don't trip up during the discussion. All of them make connection as well, say how they relate the text to themselves, most particularly the values embedded in it. I also love the students to reread the text if they want because I believe that rereading helps them gain a better understanding of the selection.
Great day! This is Go and Fishing game. It will motivate students to read. There's a question with 2 options. If the answer is correct, great catch will appear. Just 1 point. And if not, you need more practice.
Annotating is any action that deliberately interacts with a text to enhance the reader's understanding of, recall of, and reaction to the text. This is sometimes called close reading and entails highlighting or underlining keywords, phrases, or sentences and making notes in the margins of the text.
To summarize, we talk about the importance of teaching reading and the different reading strategies before reading, during reading, and after reading. Thank you so much for watching, and Let's be a reading advocate to our students because we want to improve quality in basic education.